If you guys ever wondered how to get started in real estate without any money out of your pocket, you're in luck, because today I'm hanging out with Zach. He's the gentleman that edited all of the Maddie content. So if you guys enjoyed any of that Maddie content, pop it up here. Give him some love down below as I teach him how to get started in real estate. Now, you're gonna look at this house, and you're gonna look at all of these numbers, and you're gonna get, your brain's gonna be fried. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's too much information, too many numbers, I don't know what's going on. I'll break these things down for you, but these numbers are actually not gonna help you, except they're gonna help you understand that you don't wanna do what this guy's doing, okay? You wanna stay away from this in the very beginning, and I'll give you a way to make 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand on somebody else's project, so you don't have to deal with any of this stuff, okay? All right, so there's a gentleman named Philip. Philip gets introduced to me by one of my Gator students, okay? So I have a Gator student. We'll just call her Lindsay. Her name is not Lindsay, but we'll call her Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay goes to a real estate meetup, and Lindsay is a real estate agent, and she's having a hard time right now. Why would she have a hard time right now, Zach? Why would Lindsay be having a hard time in this real estate market right now? He doesn't know the answer, so I'm gonna give you guys the answer. The answer is, it is the slowest real estate market on record in 29 years. 71% of real estate agents did not sell a single house last year. I'm gonna say that again. 71% of real estate agents did not sell a single house last year. So are real estate agents able to pay their bills, support their families, et cetera? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so real estate agents are coming to me to learn what are other ways I can make money without having to list people's properties? How do I provide value to people and still pay my bills, right? We make money by providing value to others and solving people's problems. So if there's no problems to solve, because real estate is really, really slow right now, how does an agent go make money? Well, she learned from me that all she has to do is this simple task. She finds people that need, what's the number one thing people need in real estate besides deals? They need deals, they need what else?
Money.
Money. So if you could come to anybody that needs money and just say, hey, this person who needs money, my name is Lindsay and I have access to a lot of capital. Can I fund your next deal? She brings that to me, Pace, who is a lender or somebody who partners with people. Actually, surprise, surprise, I'm not a lender. I don't lend money. Do you know what I do?
Partner.
I partner with people, which is the Gator Method. The Gator Method is partnering with people on their deals by bringing capital to the table. So I'm bringing money as my partnership contribution, okay? So Lindsay brings this opportunity to me. My team looks at this and we say yes. Cool, so let's talk about why I like this deal, okay? And we'll talk about why you don't want to do this. Philip, super smart guy, starts out as a wholesaler, starts understanding, wow, I can make a lot of money, not just wholesaling real estate, but I can start doing big fix and flips and making like everything I made in a whole year of doing 15 wholesale deals a month. I end up making about $500,000 a year in my pocket. I could do one luxury flip and make that much money too.
I got into wholesale first, and we were all out in the Midwest and the Southeast when everybody was doing the hedge fund buying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I got introduced to guys like you.
The good old
Jerry
days.
Norton, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had some friends that were killing it in that hustle and then got into that. I quickly realized that game was unsustainable.
I tell everybody, and my friend, so Jerry, who's my best friend, I always tell him, you know, wholesaling is like a stepping stone. It's like, it's a good gateway drug for a lot of people to jump into the game, but it's not sustainable because you want to build teams, you want to make larger chunks of money.
Right.
And then the economy changes, so you have to shift your strategy so rapidly.
So which way does he want to go?
He wants a massive chunk.
Wants a massive chunk of money. So what he does is he goes and buys Voltaire Avenue. Voltaire Avenue has the ability of being worth $3 million, which is what ARV means. ARV means after I repair the house, what's the value? ARV, after repair value, or after renovation value. It's fully renovated. What is a family going to be able to buy this for? So ARV means future value. Could be, should be, I hope so, value. Okay, so future value. PP does not stand for what you think it does. It stands for purchase price, right? So he buys it for 1.4. Looks like a pretty good spread right there, right? 1.4 purchase price has a $1.6 million spread. Cool. So down payment and closing costs. So in order for him to get a loan to buy this property, he needs down payment money and closing costs, okay? So I come along and I go, hey, you should don't use my money for the purchase, okay? Why would I don't want him to use my money for the purchase.
So you can free up more of your money.
Right, but why wouldn't I just fund the whole thing? Wouldn't I make more money?
I don't know.
I would make more money, but the reality is there are lenders that will do the majority of his loan to buy the property at a much lower interest rate than I want to do. So he goes to a company called myinvestorloan.com. Okay, myinvestorloan.com is going to give him $1.198 million. Does that give him all the money he needs for the 1.4 million?
Certainly doesn't.
It doesn't. So I come in here with the 215, that bridges the gap. So this is part of the money I gave him was 215. Why wouldn't my investor loan just give him the full $1.4 million?
Might be too risky.
It's too risky. Hard money lenders don't give you all the money you need to buy the property. They want you to come in with a down payment, pay for closing costs, so you have some skin in the game. So my investor loan, they give a good rate. They're like 9% for him. On a flip, that's really good. So they're giving him a 9% rate, but only on the 1.1. So he has to go out and either use his capital for the 215 or find somebody else. See where Lindsay comes in? So Lindsay comes in, finds out, hey, Philip, I have money or access to money. She's a Gator student. I can help fund that 215. All she had to do literally was introduce Philip to my team, and my team funded that deal. In the conversation, we found that we don't need to just fund the 215. We also had the opportunity of funding a lot of the renovation. And so our total loan is now 900 grand. So that's the down payment, the closing costs, and the renovation. Following me?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this guy has two loans. He has a loan from myinvestorloan.com. That's his first lien position with My Investor Loan. And then he has a $900,000 loan with Pace. Make sense? Cool. So how much money will I make? I will make $162,000. Now think about this. A bunch of people making money in this one transaction. Who's the person working the hardest? Philip, Lindsay, or me?
Philip.
Philip by a long shot. He had to find the deal, offer on the deal, follow up on the deal, raise the money for the deal, get the contractor, run the entire project for a year and a half. Okay? What did I have to do? I supplied money, wasn't even my money. That's the funny thing. Another video for another day. It's not even my money. And I'm bringing the money to Philip to make sure his deal can get done. Okay? Here's a better question. Who made the most amount of money based on how much work they provided?
You.
No, not even close.
So it's like a work to money ratio?
Yeah, work to money ratio. Great way to say that. The work to money ratio goes to Lindsay. Okay?
Makes more sense.
Because Lindsay made $10,000 on the introduction. She literally just made 10 grand on the introduction. She made 10 grand on the introduction. So she did maybe 13 minutes worth of work. Maybe not even that. Then out of my interest on the deal, that's not all the money I'm gonna make. I'm also charging Philip points, 36,000, and he asked for a loan extension of $13,600. So I made 162 plus 36, that's 198. So I made $205,000 on supplying money to Philip, $205,000. So Lindsay will end up getting another chunk of money. I think she's gonna end up getting about $10,000. The house is currently for sale, okay? So Lindsay's gonna make 20 grand for an introduction. If you knew how to just introduce people that have money with people who need money and make $10,000, $5,000, $3,000, $13,000, wouldn't that change your freaking life?
Sounds better than wholesaling.
Way better than wholesaling. Way better. Her job is actually better than my job. I'm the one that's supplying the capital. I raised money. I went out and used my credit. I went and used stuff to supply this. She is the Gator that brought the opportunity to me, and she'll make 20,000 bucks for 13 minutes worth of work. And so what I like to teach people is, hey, there's a lot of Philips out there. This is a big project. You don't want to fix and flip stuff like this. You don't want to wholesale because it requires a lot of time, energy, and effort, a lot of follow-up. It's a full-time job. Lindsay, all she has to do is continually bring more Philips to me. If you knew this, okay, and you knew that I could supply an endless amount of capital to you, I have an endless supply of capital, okay? I have big chunks of money that I have tapped into that will supply money for any of these types of deals. If you were Lindsay and you knew you could do this, how many Philips would you need to do to quit your job?
One.
One, okay? So this is the Gator Method. And we have, this Saturday actually, we have a training that's happening, and I'm gonna show people where to find the Phillips, how to introduce these to my team, and how to make money in the process. It really is the simplest and easiest way. And how much risk does Lindsay have?
The only risk I can think of is not finding another Phillip.
Okay, not finding another Phillip. Cool, so that is her only risk. Does she have any money in the deal?
No.
No, she has 13 minutes of her time. Okay, here's the thing that I think will blow your mind on Lindsay. Every time Philip uses my money on another project, who also gets paid? Lindsay. Does she have to reintroduce Philip every time?
No.
Do I go around Lindsay's back to go do more deals with Philip, or do I keep her involved in every single deal that I do and she gets paid a fee every single time?
Yeah, well, you want her to go find more people doing deals for you. So
Right.
You want to keep her in.
I want to keep her in. I want to incentivize her. You brought in Philip. I'm going to pay you on every deal that Philip ever does with me in the future. You have now built a residual income business. And I've got Gator students that just bring somebody new to us every single week. And then those relationships compound and compound and compound and compound. And these students are like, dude, I'm freaking making $500,000 this year just from referrals.
What do you need more of? Money?
Yeah.
Let me fund everything you have as long as it fits your criteria. I mean, you got obviously other lenders.
The best part about working with somebody who's done this work is you completely understand every problem I'm going to face.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you can make my business whatever it is that I need it to be.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was super excited about doing this business, and why I was so excited about just like getting these loans closed, getting these projects started and going and being successful.
People like this need a Gator. Like that 900 grand is not even my 900 grand. So explaining to the audience, who are the people that need money and why do they need money and why don't they have their own money? Like when people say I flip houses, I immediately think first lien position loan, how do I supply that? Second lien position loan, which is your construction loan, how do I supply that? And how do I just sit back and watch the guy work his ass off? Like that's what I'm thinking the whole time. Everybody thinks that these people use their own money. They don't. You go bankrupt. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to pay your bills. You wouldn't be able to do 2 projects. This guy's got 6 projects going on at all times, which is $20 million in debt. Wholesalers, right? So like, here's who the buyer is that will buy all your deals. When people are like, who are the buyers? Which I'm always in these live streams, so I'm constantly talking to wholesalers. And their thing is, but like, who are the buyers? Why don't they just buy the deals themselves? You think this guy has any time to go negotiate on deals? In fact, he was a wholesaler, which is also a video of like, here's the life cycle of you being in this business. Wholesale is here, and then he has this whole thing of like, I just feel like wholesale is unsustainable. I'm like, yeah, I teach it for free. Like, I think it's a good gateway drug, but you want to make real money, you got to get into these games.
Do you think it would make more or less sense for Lindsay to structure this as like also an equity partner instead of trying to collect just a straight $10,000 fee?
Really smart. So that's a little bit more advanced Gator strategy. You're getting into like Gator 4 and Gator 5. What she's doing is Gator 0, okay? So she's at like the basic level. You can start getting into equity deals. I have multiple Gators that have brought RV parks to me. They were involved in bringing the funding need to me. I funded the deal, I got equity, and the Gator's like, I want 5% equity of that RV park. The answer is absolutely yes. It is honestly the most gangster strategy ever. Super simple. The problem is it does attract somebody that is just starting. What's the biggest problem with people who are just starting out in any business endeavor at all?
They don't know what they don't know.
Mindset. It's the mindset. It's, well, I did one deal and they think the next deal is just gonna pop up. You gotta keep working, right? You gotta keep working, keep filling the funnel, keep filling the pipeline. And so a lot of times people will go, well, I did 3 deals, and then they stop working instead of turning it into an enterprise where that's all they're doing. So people that are entrepreneurial minded are like, oh my gosh, I see the opportunity. People that are employee minded are like, well, I did the job. Don't I get a paycheck every single 2 weeks? No, Lindsay, you got to go back out and go get the next Philip, et cetera, right? Now, of course, our relationships continue to compound, and I'm doing deals with Philip. I think we're on our 3rd or 4th deal with Philip. He's awesome. She's gotten paid probably $60,000, $70,000 in the last year of just referring one person to me. So if you guys want to be in any of the Gator trainings, we've got a Gator training Saturday. So you should be watching this on what day?
Friday.
Friday. You're watching this on Friday. Link down in the description down below. Come and hang out with me on Saturday. I'll show you primarily where we find Philip and how you can also be Lindsay. I will also show you how I became Pace and how I stopped being Lindsay, because actually there's a lot more money in being Pace. It's just a little bit more advanced of a strategy. We'll see you guys in there on the training.